Dirt. That's right, real cost BMX Dirt time here inside the US Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 2019. Welcome on in, everybody. My name is Uncle E, alongside three-time X Games gold medalist Scotty Kramer, down in the dirt, enjoying his good times down there is Mr. Chris Doyle, a legend of BMX as well. So you're getting a nice overview shot right now of what the drop-in ramp looks like. If you watched last year, we've switched it around. We've done a little flip-flop, and we'll continue to talk about that. And there's the crusty dirt right there, built with care, built with specific specifications. Yes, that is redundant, but that's how they get these things looking so smooth and so nice. So 5 features this year. We're going to continue to talk about this. Scotty, what is different this year? What do we expect to see?
So this year they have no quarter pipe, but they did build a new feature. You can see in the top of the screen the SoFi curved wall ride. So the rider's going to be using that, curving around it. Some of the guys will be doing tricks into it as well, so it's going to be quite interesting. So you're going to start off riding, but once you get to the end part, it gets very vertical. So some guys are going to be able to do tricks, some guys are going to use it to get speed going into that last jump, where a majority of the big tricks are going to happen.
Yeah, talking to some of the riders, say this is back to traditional, and now we're looking back at a couple of the dudes that are heavy favorites going into this elimination round. Talk to us.
We got Colton Walker. He was the X Games medalist as a rookie. Gold, unbelievable. But look at right here. There's the flare tail whip to late bar spin on the quarter pipe. So without that feature, what's going to happen? How are the riders going to step up, and how are they going to adapt to the more traditional course? And once again, we have Kyle Baldock, current, very manageable on the dirt, but he's also known as a park rider. Coming into this quarter pipe, 540 flare. So how's he going to adapt? Is he going to be able to get back to the podium with the setup that they have this time?
Yeah, that's the beauty of this dirt. Every year something a little bit different. No quarter pipe. Storylines over on the left-hand side. How about them Aussies? 7 of the last 10 X Games BMX Dirt events, gold. And in this elimination field, Walker, Baldock, and Gadziak, they have represented their countries and earned gold. And again, as we've been talking about, 5 jumps with 180-degree, the SoFi turn. It's going to be a little bit different, and that's how we mix it up out here at the X Games. Scotty, break down the format. What's going to be happening out here?
So the format, there's 20 athletes divided into 2 heats. There will be 2 runs, and the best run will count. So they have 2 options to get their best score out there. Top 5 overall advance to the final, and they get to meet up with the 3 medalists from last year that are going to be straight into the final.
Okay, so remember the top 5 overall. There's going to be 2 heats, so conceivably the top 5 could come from 1 heat. But let's take a peek at the 3 pre-qualified guys that are just going to be hanging on, looking out. Brandon Lupos, gold last year. Logan Martin took a silver. Who walked away with the bronze last year?
Brian Fox. And Brian Fox is coming off of a rough year. He tore his ACL in January, but he is back here and he's looking amazing on the course in practice.
Take a look to the left-hand side. From Satterfield down to Buckworth, you got a bunch of countries represented. In the middle, Andres Pardo, our lone Colombian there. Who do you like here?
I like Alex Nicolin. I think he brings a lot of amazing tricks to the course. Jake Leva is going to be great as well. And starting things off with Colton Satterfield. This is a very, very unexpected one, but this is going to be really cool to watch.
Yeah, he self-published an autobiography called Restore. He starts his mission right now, and we're just going to watch the ebb and the flow of rider number 1, 2 runs each. Oh, it just came unglued.
Yeah, so he did a bar spin, the bar spin back, and his hand missed. Now let's talk about how he made it on here. He was a last-second add-in. This guy is known in the big air world. He is a gold medalist when it comes to big air, but he is here as an alternate. He saw his left hand, barely got to the handlebar, but the force of hitting that jump bobbled his hand off of it. So look right there closely. And you know what? The situation of missing a handlebar, when you're doing a step up like that, jumping from the ground and going 16 feet up, that's better than doing it off the first jump, because there's a big difference of the distance that you fall on a step up compared to a regular jump. So that was a safe way to get out of it.
There you go. Safety is the name of the game out here. That was Satterfield done with 1 run of 2. We move on to the eldest, 33 years of age, one of our eldest, earned a bronze in 2006, back in the LA days, Anthony Napolitan out of Youngstown, Ohio.
Well, Chris Doyle is a big fan of Anthony Napolitan. Let's have him take this one away.
Doyle, what's going on down there, buddy?
Well, straight out of Youngstown, Ohio, Anthony Napolitan is on a mission right now. You see him spinning in both directions. We saw that Superman C-Crab Indian Air 360, ending it with the backflip tail whip, and he has to step off. Waves to the crowd, letting them know that he's okay. Anthony was a little bit of a wild card coming in here. As you guys said, he's the oldest guy in today's competition. But, you know, it's awesome always to have Anthony. This is his signature right here. There's that front flip with a beautiful no-hander. He makes that look better than just about everybody else in the world. And here's where there's the back flip. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the back flip. Turned down to late tail whip, trying the combinations right there. He has to come off. He's all right. He'll be back for run number 2.
That's a very interesting combination. I don't really see too many guys doing it like that. So what's so hard about that is you wrap your body up in the turn down, but then you have to kick the tail whip so late. So that's why he over-rotated.
Yep, the front flip. We'll see more of that and continue on now with James Foster. Big air also, so a double threat. Took a bronze in 2016. This is his first run of 2 at the elimination rounds. Here the real cost, Big Air Dirt.
So James's background is dirt. He's ridden park and dirt for years before Big Air. So he's gonna feel right at home. And there we go, a nice run landed. That last trick was awesome. Truck driver to late downside tail whip. And what's really cool about that is James' natural tail whip direction is a downside tail whip. So that's normal for him, so that's why it looked right at home. But here is the flip whip over the first set. Nice trick to start off with. Right into a Superman C-grab Indian air, kicking those legs, crossing it, and here's that trick I was talking about. Truck driver spinning the handlebars, catching it, taking his feet off the bike, kicking the frame, spinning around while he meets the bike at the landing. And you can see the shock on his face. He knew that was a close one.
Yeah, the first complete run through a 75 slides him into first place. Remember, each one of these riders in these heats get 2 runs each. This is heat number 1 of our Real Cost BMX Dirt Elimination. Rider number 4 out of Birmingham, Alabama, so close to Talladega. This is Mr. Barry Nobles. He raced horses as a kid. He's done BMX. He loves himself some mountain biking as well. Double flip out of the gates, a little over rotation.
Double flip, and he landed so low on the back wheel. Oh man, he's up on he's getting up right now, which is a great sign, but man, he landed so low on that dirt jump right there, and he was over-rotating. So watch this replay, and you'll clearly see what goes wrong. He's looking, he's flipping, but at this point, he's wanting to look for the landing. By the time he sees it, he's like, oh no, I'm too high, I'm too far. So he kept on rotating, he tried his best to lock the brakes, but he had to go right to his backside on that one. That was a rough way to start your day.
Yeah, full commitment right there for the former horse racer, so we'll see what run number 2 works for him. One of your favorites, the only rider doing dirt, park, and street, the legend from San Diego, Dennis Anderson, looking to better a 75 to take the lead.
Oh, look at that backflip tail up over the first one. Looks like a 360 X up on the second one. I know that's not exactly what he wanted to, and you can see he's throwing away this run technically. He's just kind of having fun out there. And that's the thing when it comes to riding in a competition like this, you know that you have 5 chances on this course to do your best stuff. If it goes wrong early on in the run, a lot of these guys know that they're wasting kind of, valuable time and effort if they're going to. So things started out good. Flip whip was perfect. But right here, he spun off the lip and he just did not get the right setup. I think from what I saw in practice, he was doing the 360 suicide double truck driver, spinning the bars around twice, and I think right off the lip, he knew the pop wasn't there, couldn't get the bike secured, so he went with the X up.
So presently, after 5 riders, only one, Mr. Foster, as you see on the top of the hat there, is our current leader with 75 again. 2 runs in each one of these rounds, 2 heats of 10 each. We go on over to Colombia now. This is Andres Pardo, the Colombian rookie, sending it.
Oh, look at that. 361 put an X up, and it was dipped. It was so aggressive looking. These guys got such a crazy style. I've been following them in the Toyota Triple Challenge, and it's been so much fun to watch. And there he goes, lands a clean run. Nice. That is the second one that we've seen so far. So yes, he's got to feel great about that. First appearance and showing up like a veteran.
Yes.
But look at this first trick, Uncle E. You see how he dips down, throws the X up, the back leg goes straight to the roof of USA Bank here. And look at everything he's doing. It's so aggressive. I love this guy's style. Me and Chris Doyle were talking about it earlier. Chris, when you saw this guy ride for the first time, what were you thinking?
I was looking forward to watching Andre ride so bad. I was so happy that he got the invite to be here at X Games, to be one of these 20 riders. I mean, what a privilege for him to be here, to be able to compete on this kind of stage. And look at that, we have a new guy in first place, 80.33.
Oh, dude, how about that? Rookie from Colombia taking the lead, the first dude in the 80s. Rock on. Look at Mustachio. Money Mike Clark out of Fountain Valley, California. Dangerously close to Huntington Beach, and right now he's no-hander backflip. Get out of here.
Cliffhanger backflip right there. No, Hucker, that was so good.
The Hucker.
And what's so awesome about this guy, he is here for a good time. That is what he is about in BMX. Everybody knows that, but he's got some of the craziest tricks. Look at this first one. Cliffhanger backflip, securing it with his ankles. Who does that? That shouldn't be possible right here. And this is where things went wrong. He went for the 360 double downside tail whip. This time he kicked it around to his regular direction of a tail whip, but opposite spin, over-rotated. It threw his balance off, and he had to go to his side. But man, what a sick run.
Do you think he just might have scared himself that he actually landed the first one? He's like, hey, I actually stuck that.
If I was in that position, I would be thinking the same thing. But man, that was aggressive right there.
All right, y'all get the feel for it. This is Real Cost. BMX Dirt Elimination round. We're in the midst of it. A 27-year-old out of Krasnodar, Russia. Alex Nikolin, so close to Sochi, you can kind of see it from where the Olympics were, and he's sending it. Oh, and he nailed that.
Tail whip.
He had nailed that in training. I was watching him, and unfortunately, just the pregame jitters might have got him.
You know, and it's a tough one. When they announce your name here at the X Games, that's your time to step up. You only have that moment right there. A front flip tail whip over that. So what's crazy about this trick, I know this thing very well. I invented this trick. This is hard to pull the bike around, and a lot of times I use the back brake to grab the back wheel and continue on. He's got no brakes on his bike. He can't bring that back wheel and put the force down with the brake to continue forward. So
I would just want to reiterate, I love hearing, I invented that trick. 9 medals, and dude, you're hearing Scotty Kramer, 9 medals in the X Games, 3 gold, 3 silver, 3 bronze. Legend. All right. Doyle, this is all you, buddy. Here goes Jake Leva from Tehachapi, 6 feet tall, 24 years of age. Drop it in, take it away, bro.
Well, we know that Jake Leva has some crazy tricks, and he has them so dialed. Gets a little bit on the backseat. Oh, and he's coming up short, having to take the pedal, settling for the bar spin. Yeah, he's had eyes on this last set. There's that 360 double downside whip. Not the run that he wants. We're seeing a lot of guys falling victim to that ever so hated first run jitters. Not a lot of guys putting down clean runs. So, you know, these guys are just nervous. They got to shake out those jitters and come back strong for their second runs.
But you could tell he's got the tricks. The backflip double tail up right here. He landed a little bit, you know, a little bit off, but not too far. He should have been right at that point of clearing it. And you could see his back wheel tagged, and that screwed up everything. And he knew right away. He started pedaling at the case, which is impossible to do, but it's desperate times and desperate measures.
I hate to say it like this, but what's nice is you're seeing that this is really difficult. You're not seeing the ebb and the flow. Like we saw a lot of kind of generic runs in in practice where everyone was nailing it. These guys are pushing it. They got the nerves in there. You're not seeing a lot of flow right now. Maybe in run number 2 after these jitters, we'll start to settle down a bit.
You stamped your ticket to the big show, and you just got to get through this to make it into the final to get your chance of medal. But here's Andy Buckworth dropping in the double backflip, lands that one perfect, straight into a front flip as well. Signature Andy Buckworth that we're seeing right now. Now coming into the last one, that's what I'm curious about. What's he gonna bring? 360 double downside tail whip. He dabbed the foot a little bit right there. It wasn't perfect.
Okay.
But he's got to feel good about that, considering what we just saw the last couple guys go through. At least he knows he's got a little bit to clean up in the second. But here's this trick right here, the front flip. This is a piece of cake for him. He's got the variations, he's got the no-handed front flip, and I got a feeling we will be seeing that in the second one. Now the 720, this is a newer style trick for him because he's been working on 720 variations. So he told me he tried it on the last jump and he had 2 crashes in a row, so he switched it over to that step up and he hung a back wheel. It's a 16-foot high step up, so that's a big jump to go 720 up.
And look at that, Buckworth with all sorts of rotations, raises his hands. Why? Because he's in first place with an 82.33. That is 1 run done of 2 in heat number 1. Lots more going on here from Minneapolis at X Games 2019. right back at you. The mighty miss, the old man, the big M, ran across one of those bridges this morning with wintertime X Games gold medalist Alex Ferreira. Phenomenal city for running, and even a better city to check out what's going on here known as the X Games. The gridiron's gone. The Vikings are not playing football right now. We've got a bunch of dirt in here and great activity going on in the name of BMX Dirt Elimination. You see the top 5 there: Napolitan, Leyva, Foster, Pardo, Buckworth. Those are the top 5 thus far after run 1, heat number 1, with a ton of action yet to come here. Real cost. BMX Dirt is happening, and we've reshuffled them, put them back up to the top. And again, this is heat 1 of 2. 20 people total, taking the top 5 into the finals, where they'll join 3 pre-qualified, and we go back to the top for Colton Satterfield, big air specialist, enjoying a day in the dirt.
Oh, so far so good. This is looking a lot better than the first run. Right there, he sacrificed the bar swing back, but let's see if he can pick something big right here. 360 double tail. Oh, he misses his pedals, and when you miss your pedals, you miss your platform. You cannot securely ride away, and its momentum got thrown off right there. But this first trick was phenomenal. He's doing the 360 no-handed backflip, corking it out, looking upside down, twisting, reaching, and everything was awesome. He caught great transition, but things went wrong on this trick. The 360 double tail. It looked right. Everything looked like it was gonna work. Even when he started catching the bike, I thought it was gonna be good, but then right away, his legs moved off the pedals. He got the bike stuck underneath him all awkwardly, and he just couldn't push down and ride away. It's a hard look, but you know what? He's got big air.
He does have big air coming up later on. A beautiful monstrosity built in this arena as well. All right, this is Anthony Napolitan looking to put down something better than his first run. Got those jitters out of the way. Bronze in 2006. Been in the game a long time. Here's his second run.
Nice front flip no-hander. 360 Superman C-grab Indian air with great extension. And switching it up with an opposite 360, spinning the other direction as well. Backflip double tail, but he tagged back wheel. That run was going so good. I'll go out there and say it. If he stuck that trick, I think we would have had a new leader. I really do.
You threw the if in there, didn't you?
Yeah, I know. It's a shame to say
it's true. It's true.
Everything was going so good. I love this trick. Superman script, Indian air, kicking the legs, looking as he rotates. But this is where things went wrong. He went for the backflip double tail whip. Everything looks so far so good. It looks like the rotation's a little late, almost like he's gonna over-rotate. But it didn't even matter because he barely got his front wheel onto that top deck. And to clear that and ride away smoothly, he needed to be about 3 or so feet farther. So that was a tough break for Anthony.
Yeah, smiling, do no better than 50. Remember, the top 5 out of all 20 of them will move on to the finals. And take a peek there. Competing at X Games Minneapolis 2019, the oldest gold medalist is no older than 25. Kind of a weird, interesting stat, don't you think? No one over 25 has ever won gold.
It's so strange to me. We talked about this last year.
Yeah.
And then Brandon Lupos wins at 25 years old. So what's going to happen this year? I do not know.
Yeah, they're all getting older. 8 of the 20 in this elimination round are 25 or younger, so we will see. Here goes James Foster.
So James coming in. Nice switch whip, even though that looks regular because the guys throw it to their front foot usually. Ooh, he went for truck driver to bar swing back, and if I was going to make my guess, we were going to look for a downside tail whip out of that, which would have been insane. Seen him do it before, but first trick, huge Superman C-grab Indian, or Superman C-grab, pushing the legs out so far.
You know, it's integral here and key. He's the only person to complete 2 full runs so far, so he's looking to improve upon his 75. A little bit of pedal there. I want to talk about that. The flow we've talked about, you don't want to see any pedaling, do you?
True. So in classic BMX Dirt, you don't want to pedal in the trails. And you know what? I think it's best we let Chris DeWill explain this one because he is the trail master. He's from Pennsylvania. Chris, why don't you tell us why pedaling's so bad?
Well, if you pedaled, that's usually because you landed bad. That's because you cased or you landed flat. So you don't want to pedal. You want to keep that flow going. We have some judges here that are very strict on that don't want to see any cranks in the dirt section at all. So you got to land good. You got to land high on the landings and stick your tricks.
Dude, ask the expert. He will give you what you ask him. Nice job, brother. So Foster, 77.66 in that 3rd place spot. Remember, this is only 1 heat of 10. We have a whole nother one to go, and that one's a heavy, loaded one. We'll talk about that in a minute. Barry Nobles, Birmingham, Alabama. He's also competing in the Harley-Davidson hooligan racing here at X Games 2019.
Barry Nobles back on course, showing you that double backflip. Oh, and he landed a little bit low. Like we just talked about, you gotta land high on these transitions to keep the run going. Slips the pedals on the double whip, trying to pull something out, showing you the 360 backflip, and he bails. You know, he was just off, you know, he didn't have that rhythm. You miss the beat, you lose the rhythm, you land a little bit low, you gotta crank through some stuff. Check this out. He's got the double flip really dialed. He's got a good rotation, but like I keep saying, I hate to sound like a broken record, it's all about how you land. It's where you land. He lands a little bit low, gets sucked to the back seat a little bit, and here's the 360 backflip. I've never seen him do this one before, but you see him just clip ever so slightly. His body weight's a little bit off, the feet come off, and he takes the slam.
Oh, that was a rough showing right there, but he did get the double backflip again. Yeah. It's always great to get the redemption on your second run of the trick that takes you out.
That's it. We'll see him in the Harley-Davidson hooligan racing later on in the X Games 2019, doing double duty. Here goes Anderson for his second run, and he did not have success. He's a smooth veteran, 10-time medalist. Let's see what he's got.
And there's that double truck. That's what I was thinking he was going to throw. Nice cannonball bar spin. So far, so good. Switch double truck over the last jump.
Boom.
All right. Let's talk about how complicated that is and how few people in the world can actually do what Dennis just did. I know it wasn't as flashy as a double backflip or a 360 backflip, but what he just did was some serious skill. Backflip tail up over the first is what we expect from Dennis Anderson. A nice, huge, lofty trick, but what he does on the second one is really important because you can see he spins to his right, spinning his handlebars with his left hand. And he spun it twice around without touching the handlebars. Look at him spinning to his left, throwing it with his right hand and spinning it twice around.
Nice.
That is such a rare trick right there for someone to do. Me personally, I've done switch truck drivers, but I always dreamed of doing a switch double truck driver. That is tough.
Dreaming is the deal. Reality is Dennis Anderson taking him into first place. Flowing locks and stoked to be up there in the mid-80s, so that's gonna bode well. Remember, the top 5 scores overall from both heats move on to the dirt finals to join last year's top 3. Here we go from Colombia, Andres Pardo, who's in third right now, sending it.
Look at that 360 whip over the first. He went opposite with a 360 downside tail whip, and then came back with another direction change of a 360 whip. Going for that front flip, and he rides away again. A rookie that shows up and stops 2 perfect runs. That's pretty amazing.
How'd your rookie voyage go? Did you stick everything?
Oh, okay, I'll tell you about my rookie voyage real quick. It ended with a broken nose and 19th place, actually.
That's almost first.
Yeah, I didn't stick much.
No, but yeah, love the Colombian. Look at that great shot, too.
Yeah, so like I was saying, 360 whip, spinning to his left, kicking the bike. Here goes the front flip. I think he wanted to tuck no-hander. I'm positive, actually, he wanted to tuck no-hander, but he knew right away, I don't have the rotation. I need to pull this front flip around because he's brakeless once again. You can't depend on that back wheel to pull you down.
Only the second BMX athlete to compete at X. No Colombian medals at the X Games. So we're moving and grooving, getting through it. Hooker from Fountain Valley, silver medal in Austin 2015. One of the crowd favorites, one of your favorites. Hey Doyle, I know you're down there. Why don't you talk us through Mr. Hooker, Mike Clark, as he's getting ready to drop in 3, 2, 1, take it.
It is my pleasure. From one wild man to another, showing you that backflip with the clip hanger. Again, I'm sorry, he got me tongue-tied and twisted. He goes so big on that trip. And now, the run is still going. He's tricking out of the shark fin, hitting that last set. Oh, going for the opposite. That was an opposite 720. The judges know what he was trying to do. You saw the feet pop off, unable to land that, but it's gonna take more than that to take Hooker down.
Man, that is such a technical trick, that opposite 720, but this is just nuts. I can't get over that cliffhanger backflip. Watching that trick and just knowing that he had to do that twice, insane. But here, look at that front foot is off the pedal. You can't land on your bike without a pedal. And he gets caught up in the bike, lands on top of it, but Hooker is the toughest guy in the world. He rides the biggest jumps all over the planet, so he's used to these kind of situations, unfazed.
Yep, and I believe he uses extra arm hair to protect his, his elbows there.
Sure looks like it.
Yeah, that's what Jimmy Coleman told me anyway. We're having a good time out here in Minneapolis, X Games 2019. This is the real dirt BMX elimination round. The Russian Nicholin.
Oh, he's got it this time. Into the cash roll. Can he move forward? Come on, Alex. He's got to sacrifice a straight jump, but it's crucial on this last one to do something huge. 360 flip, and he rides away. Now, this is complicated. We had 3 crazy tricks, 3 insane tricks, but he lost a chance for a trick on that step up. But the front flip tail whip, got the rotation this time, catches the bike, pulls it around, finds the pedals, secures the landing, and then goes straight into the cash roll. That is a 360 front flip variation. It is off axis, like a 720, but also with a 360 backflip, or 360 front flip. But here's the 360 backflip that he did. Everything was beautiful on this. He landed perfectly fine. But how are the judges going to score this when he sacrificed a straight air on that step up? I do not know.
An overall presentation, so there you go. Nice analysis by Scotty Kramer. 75 puts him in that dangerous 5th spot, or the bubble. Keep in mind, this is only 1 heat of 10. Everybody gets 2 runs. We're getting close to wrapping that one up. And they'll do a whole nother 10-pack of 2 runs each with a bunch of sharpshooters coming at you. Jake Leyva, Tehachapi, California, sending it.
Oh, this is better than the first one so far. He's got no pedaling being done, but there, that was close right there. Landed in a manual. And he goes for the throw. That was, you know what? That was a way to throw a haymaker at the last second. He knew he needed something big, going for that decade to 360. So that last jump right there, that trick that he just did was so complicated. He is one of, I think, 2 people in the world that have only done it. But things went better this time. He landed the backflip tail, did not have to pedal. He did the truck driver, still not pedaling. This is where things get a little weird. He landed in this manual on that back wheel, but he knew he had to pedal to get around that curved wall ride. Look at the decade, catching the bike, spinning the 360. It looked like it was gonna work, but there's so many moving parts of that. You're moving with your body, you're moving with your bike. You have to catch the bike and then spin together. That's insane. So his lean got off, it went to his right side, and he wasn't able to ride away. So tough showing.
Good to go.
Buckworth is going now, so Leyva will not make it into the top 5. Previous competitor, final competitor right now in this BMX, Real Cost BMX Dirt Elimination round number 1. This is Andy Buckworth, the Aussie out of Lake Haven, New South Wales, a staple on the Nitro Circus tour, and showing you his prowess, double back to front.
Same kind of deal as the first round, but cleaner. So it looks like he's going to try to do the same style, but just clean things up. And technically, if I do my math, if you do the same exact run and you do it better, you should get a higher score.
Bingo.
And what's so important about that is, yes, he's in 2nd place right now, but we have 10 more of the best riders in the world going. So you want to get as high up on that board as possible. Double backflip, perfect as usual. He's the best in the world at doing these double flips. So I have no issue saying that he's going to be the guy landing that every single time. But it's what he did the rest of the run, landing everything smooth. The 720, he didn't tag back wheel this time, landed beautiful. He even tricked on the way out of the SoFi curved wall. 360 double downside tail whip, lands that one perfect. I don't know. If I'm gonna guess as a judge, you are going to reward that. So we'll see right now.
And run 2 of 2 is better. 88.66.
Way better.
Yeah, throws him right into the top spot. Hello, your new leader. Oh, he's fired up too. So those are the 2 best runs that we had consistently right there from one competitor. So for Buckworth, he shows you how it's done on his final run, got rid of those jitters, and he's in a very comfortable position, that high up, and that is elimination run number 1 done. Buckworth takes the lead, but there's 10 more guys to go. They'll get 2 runs. So basically, we're gonna reset and be right back at you. Hold tight. And it is time to get things continued here. Outside, you're taking a peek at the Fan Expo, and we've got round number 2 of the BMX Dirt, Real Cost BMX Dirt Elimination. First round, whoo, that was heavy hitting. It's even gonna get hotter right now. Uncle Lee alongside Scotty Kramer, Mr. Chris Doyle down in the mix, and here's the standings thus far after 10 riders: Buckworth, Anderson, Pardo, Foster, and the Russian Nicolin squeaking on in. But Scotty, I'm thinking there's gonna be a disturbance of the force coming up.
I think it's safe to say, because we have a completely packed heat right here. In all of this 20-rider field, there is 46 medals combined. But in this heat right here, there are 4 former dirt gold medalists.
And
That's
who
insane.
are they? Talk to me, who are they?
We have Kevin Perazzo, we have Colton Walker, we have Kyle Baldock, and we have David Godzik. So this is going to be epic.
4 of these 10, from what you're saying, have earned gold in this discipline, and right now they're vying for a spot to make it into the finals. Is that what you're saying?
Only 5 spots to boot.
Okay. So let's set the stage here. The 10 dudes you just saw, they've got 5 spots. Those 5 guys are watching all 10 of these guys to see if they're gonna be knocked off. Conceivably, all 5 spots could come from this heat here. We're starting off right now with Mr. Daniel Sandoval.
It's definitely possible, and so far, so good. Sandoval has so many fast combinations. On to the last one, truck driver to downside tail whip, and he gets a clean run in his bag.
Good way to start things off. You see Sandoval hitting feature number 1.
Truck driver to tail whip, and he does it at height. So high up, so much power. Straight into a downside tail whip 360 to late regular tail whip. So many complicated tail whip and bar spin tricks in his run. And he finished things off with a switch of what he did on the first jump. He did a truck driver to downside tail whip. So pretty awesome first run for Daniel Sandoval.
So you see Buckworth, Anderson, part of those scores remain up there, because again, the top 5 scores collectively from all 20 athletes. Top 5 move into the finals, and they will join the likes of Brandon Lupos, Logan Martin, Brian Fox. And right down below now, the real deal, Chris Doyle is in the mix. What's up, buddy?
Man, Sandoval was not playing around. He came out swinging and really set the tone for this second heat. Right now, just looking at that run, I gotta say, that's a first place run right now. That was not, that was clean, it was consistent, he didn't bottle his pedals. I mean, that was what you want out of your first run right there. Coming in right now, he's got the 85.
So Sandoval slides into 3rd place. You're right, that was first place for this heat.
It was definitely the first one for the heat.
That
That's for
was
sure.
definitely the best run we've seen so far that heat.
I totally agree. I mean, it'd be a safe bet.
No argument there. Let's move on over to a guy who earned silver in 2014 and 2016 out of Great Britain, Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace right there going for a straight 360, and I seen his practice. I know what he was going for, but he's going to continue on. At least get one under your belt. You don't know how the rest of the field's going to go. You don't know if these guys are going to ride too crazy to the point that they fall, so it's smart to keep on going. I know what he wanted to do on that first jump. He wanted to do a massive 360 look back. That's his signature trick. Nobody does it better than him. So, but as you can see, he's got this 360. There's nothing happening, and in X Games, there's always something happening in a 360. That's just how it is nowadays. Multiple things usually, but he goes into the double tail whip, catching that one secure, and he knew at this point, he's like, all right, I'm gonna use this as a practice run. I'm gonna keep the momentum going. I still have run number 2 coming up.
Our lone British competitor sees his score as 66 and change. Doing it for his daughter, Tallulah, 3 years of age. He's married, he's got another child on the way, so he'll re-rack and head back up top. We go from London down to Brazil, Leandro Moreira out of Sao Paulo, and he's starting off with a heated fury.
Nice flip whip. Oh, a combination. Truck driver to one-handed X up. Doing it the same direction as the bars as well. Really fluent.
Oh yeah,
Nice
yeah,
360
get it. Nice.
double whip at the end. I'm telling you, these guys are coming ready to go. They're bringing their A game, their best tricks. Look at the height of this flip whip though. He's known to have the biggest, craziest jumps in South America, and he rides jumps that are twice the size on a daily basis. So he comes here and he only knows one volume, and that is as loud as possible. So
this one goes to 11, right? Look at this. I love that. Look at it. He's focusing on the landing, watching the bike
stalled
spin.
it out, nice and controlled. That's what's so beautiful about it. But he landed secure. He had a great solid run.
All right, Doyle, talk to us. What do you think of that one there?
Well, that was a solid run. I mean, we know what Leandro is capable of. I mean, I see him every day on my Instagram feed just sending the craziest runs you've ever seen. So that doesn't really surprise me. When he kicks that backflip tail up, you know that those feet are going to connect with those pedals. That was a great run out of Leandro, especially for a first run. No jitters there. He looked really solid.
Recently became a father as well to his son Bruno, born back in November of last year. And 76.33, so a little bit of work to do. That's 6th place. Remember, the top 5 overall from all 20 riders move on to our dirt finals. And we're gonna shift it on over to a guy who's doing double duty here in dirt and in park from Youngstown, Ohio. This is Nick Bruce, and he had an unfortunate consequence there in Boise in the qualifier, Scotty.
He did. It's so great to see him riding at this event. You know, he went down, he ended up getting a facial fracture, and that's not good at all. But seeing him show up here and stopping a run like that, did a 360 whip to whip back on the last jump. Like, that was amazing right there.
Smooth.
It was so smooth. And, you know, he's a park rider, but he's also a dirt rider, so he could do such technical tricks. Look at this beautiful 360 flip, hanging upside down, waiting for that flip to come around, spots his landing dialed. He had to squeeze a quick little pedal in there, but it's not going to hurt him too much because of what he did. He had so many big tricks otherwise, but the last trick was definitely the highlight of the run for sure. Here's the 360 whip, kicking it completely the other direction, the downside tail whip, and he did it perfect. There is not one bit of struggle. He landed secure.
Love the variety, the difficulty of trick, the flow. These are all things the judges take into consideration. Ooh, dicey, 78.66. He's on that bubble spot, 5th place. So he's gonna try to tighten that thing up and see what his second run will do. We go to Varga now. We're going to Canada, don't you know? Lives out in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. Best finish, 6th place in dirt last year. Let's see if he can up the ante for his first run of 2.
Oh, look at that, fast hands, triple bar spin 360. I've seen him do this run in practice. He's looking so great so far. Nice 360 flip, and that's exactly what I saw him do all weekend so far. These guys are putting in the work. They know what they need to get. So when you know every angle of every jump, you come into this confidently, ready to go. Look at that, 3 times around, stopping it each time and checking it, throwing it, checking it, throwing it. Nice front flip no-hander, leaving the hands off for a good amount of time. The judges want to see the separation there. They don't want to see fast hands, and they don't want to see hands that aren't straight out. And here is the 360 flip. You know, it's like borderline 360 flip cork 720, which is so cool. It's a aggressive trick, and I love that more BMX riders are doing it because they are able to fit crazy combinations in, and I have a feeling we might be seeing those in the future.
If you're new to any sort of air, you lead with the head, the body follows. You saw in that final jump, he was just looking over his shoulder and the body was rotating with his bike. And look at that beautiful score of 82. That's gonna put him into 4th place, semi-comfortable, but there's a lot of guns still ablazing. Okay, I know this gentleman down below, Mr. Chris Doyle, likes Mr. Peraza because we got a dirt in the park specialist. I'm letting you have this one, Doyle, go.
Peraza, look at the height, look at the style. 3 whip to invert, 3 inward can-can. Check him out on the SoFi shark. Oh, that was a beautiful trick. 3 whipping out of the shark fin. Superman seat grab Indian air. Let's see how the judges scored this, because he's the first guy that's really done a big trick out of the shark fin, out of the berm. Really the first guy to really send it on that obstacle. You see a lot of guys playing it safe so they can utilize that last set, but I don't know. We're gonna have to see how the judges score that right here. I love this right here. A 3 whip, beautiful tabletop. He's so high, he spots his landing, lands perfectly.
Now what happens on the 3rd jump, me and Chris, we both stopped in our tracks because we've never seen that before. He does a 360 downside tail whip, but the last second he squeezed in a can-can. But this was huge. I've never seen anybody do, I saw them do a 270 out of it, but a 360 whip, are you kidding me? He landed, listen, he had the pedal, you know, it wasn't completely clean, but he had some serious hits on everything, and I think the judges will reward him. I think Chris is right.
Gold medal in Austin, excuse me, 2016. Score to take the lead in this elimination round, the real cost dirt elimination. Judges doing a little deliberation right now. Also, park gold in Minnesota on the inaugural year here. He's doing double duty. And in 81.33, so he is in the 5th spot, where it puts Pardo, knocks Pardo, as you see with an 83.3, he is out, so Peraza is on that bubble right now with an 81.33. We shift it on over now to Placentia, California's own Pat Casey, best dirt finish, just off the podium in Austin, Texas, and he goes for run number 1 now.
Great style as always, he goes huge every chance he gets on the course, and he's got a very original approach to it so far, a lot of really unique tricks. Ending it off with a cash roll, pushing through. We're going to use that term a few times today. The cash roll is an off-access, forward-rotating 720. You know, it's like borderline 360 front flip, but it's borderline 720. It's very awkward, especially when Pat does it. He does his very flat. So look at this, though. 360 whip to late toboggan. Taking his hand off, grabbing the seat, turning the handlebars 90 degrees, very technical. It's crazy because when you do a trick and your last trick is the hand trick, that's when you're coming close to the ground. That's when you want to get your hands secure. But here's the cash roll. You can see Pat doesn't like fully go upside down. He's got a crazy lean to it the whole time. Still the same trick, but it's Pat's own variety of it. That's how Pat does it.
Yeah, it's more of a corkscrew.
It is. Yeah, definitely is.
There it is. So Casey looking to slide in the top 5. Remember, we're taking the top 5 out of 20 riders. 46 medals of these 20 riders in this field here, and we're only taking the top 5. So that's why the judges are going back and forth. They're wondering, they're deliberating over what was that last one? Where is that 5th and 6th place spot? So Casey, this is I bet you love this part of competing, didn't you? Just waiting.
It was the worst. I will go out there and say it.
Yeah. And 4th place, all right, so Casey in that top 5 presently, with still a lot of heavy hitters on the line, including this gentleman, Colton Walker, a gold here in his maiden voyage in 2017, relative local, won a bronze in Sydney, and he's not afraid to send it.
So Colton Walker has so many 360 combinations. That's like his go-to. He's actually changed BMX by completing tricks that people have never done before. So what we just saw right there, that was not his best run. I know what he's capable of. I know he can squeeze bar spins and tail whips in and out of areas where I didn't think was possible at all. And he's got room to work with. But at the same time, he had a very clean run. He didn't have to pedal. He landed secure every single time. And that's a good thing because that's going to raise your confidence going into run number 2. There's a 360 double tail whip onto the step up into the shark fin. And then here's the one technical move he got, but he can even expand on this. Like, he is capable of doing another bar spin. And I've seen him do bar spin into that trick before the tail whip and a bar spin out. So we'll see what happens on run number 2. And we'll see where the score gets on run number 1, because that's where he's going to base his approach for run number 2.
Doyle, thoughts? Is that a top 5 run for the gold medalist from 2017, Colton Walker?
Well, that was a fantastic run. It was clean, he was consistent, but I gotta say, and Scotty, you might agree with me here, I think that was a little bit of a conservative run for a guy like Colton Walker, who we know has a lot more in the tank, has a lot more tricks that he can throw on this course.
Score in, 82.66, just inching into that place. Now Varga is on the outside looking in. Keep in mind, everybody we've seen thus far gets a second run. And we'll stay in gold medal zone. This is Mr. Kyle Baldock from Australia. 3 golds, and he's sending it, going for a 4th. He would be the all-time leader in the discipline if he gets it, but first he's got to qualify.
So far, so good. Kyle's got some of the biggest tricks in the field. It all comes down to this last jump. 720 tail whip, and he rides away, Uncle E. That was some serious stuff.
Just in time.
And if you want to get into this competition, that's how you have to show up. Here's the first trick, backflip bar spin. This is more of a setup trick. There's nothing too crazy about that. But what he did afterwards, 720 bar spin, missed his hand on that one, and he still managed to ride away. Tail up the opposite direction, so that's a completely different feel. Here's a tail up the regular direction, but he catches it and rotates a 720 on the bike, stiffening his body out, clearly rotating barely above that ramp, and he rode away from it though. That was a good run. I think we're gonna get a good score.
All right, Kyle, full of energy, hails from the Gold Coast near Coolangatta, the kickoff of the Surf World Tour every year, and he is surfing on dirt right now. He's got 90 is his score, first 9-0. And Baldock looking to reclaim a gold and be the first guy to take 4 golds in a discipline. Remember, this is just qualifiers, and a great first run there, put him in a great position. Gadziak, David, a gold in Sydney in 2018. He's from Poland, first and only Polish competitor in the BMX discipline. And here he goes.
Woo! There he goes with the 720 cash roll into the regular cash roll. Tail whip on the 3rd jump. That is some serious heat. I didn't see him do that in practice at all. Backflip bar spin, the bar spin. That's how a defending gold medalist shows up and does his first run of the day, Uncle Lee.
I'm excited to see that. That happened so quick out of the gates. He just sent that thing. We had not seen any. I saw that in training, but here's the reality.
This out. This is more ski level right here. This is stuff that you've seen over the years. That's an insane trick. That is the craziest trick I'd say we've seen over the first jump for sure. Now he was able to keep the momentum going and answer back with a cash roll. So that's just a 720 total rotation compared to the first one, which was technically a 1080 total rotation when you factor in what he did. And he ended off with a backflip bar spin to bar spin. And what I like about that is when you're doing a front flip variation on the first, front flip variation on the second, if he would have ended with another front flip variation, that's a little bit too much of the same. He switched it up and went for a backflip bar to bar.
And look at that. Just because of all what you explained, that puts him in first place. Way to break it down. Judges awarded the highest score. And Gadziak, Dirt Gold in Sydney, looking for one here in Minneapolis. So we are done with 1 run of 2. There's 10 more rides to go on this course. Stick with us when we return for the culmination of the BMX Dirt Elimination. Nothing like a fine day in the dirt. Getting dirty out here. US Bank Stadium, home of the Minnesota Vikings. And there's the standings on your left-hand side here at the BMX Dirt Elimination. David Gadziak just threw it down, a 92. Bolduc right behind him. Those are gold medalists. And Buckworth, Anderson, Sandoval in the hunt. Remember, we're taking the top 5 out of both rounds that we've seen, and those 5 will go on to join Lupos, Martin, and Fox in our BMX Dirt Finals later in the weekend. Uncle Lee alongside the legend Scotty Kramer and Pat Doyle. Pat, you're down in the mix. I think your microphone is working. Your thoughts so far in that first round of the second heat?
Well, I absolutely dropped my microphone after watching David Gadziak's first run. That was absolutely incredible. I mean, that was BMX dirt jumping at its finest right there. But we got Daniel Sandoval dropping in. Daniel's already in that top 5. Let's see if he can hang in there. Ooh, and he has to bail out. Was going to do the truck driver to probably a late tail whip. He knew he was going to come up a little bit short, had to bail out. He slid out, he made it look good. And he still got that first run score of an 85, so he's looking pretty good.
Oh, he's going to have a very stressful next 9 runs sitting there on that bubble spot. But look at, he jumped out right at the last second. He knew, he's like, oh, I'm in trouble. I got to get out of here. And what's so crazy about BMX is not only are they professional at doing the tricks, they're also professional at getting out of the tricks. We know what we need to do to be able to put ourselves in the best situation.
Learn to crash, learn to roll, learn to take that fall. All right, so Sandoval, again, as said, is in that 5th spot. 85 is the bubble score right now. Casey outside looking in. But this is Ben Wallace from Great Britain. His second run needs greater than an 85.
Oh, look at this. Looking so solid already. Flip whip onto the step up. I haven't seen anybody do a flip variation of that, so that's really cool. 360 double downside, and look at that. You knew straight away that's what he was looking for. And we talked about this. In his first run, he did that stock 360. I knew that wasn't enough. I knew he wanted to get crazy on this one. So look at the X up throwing it in there. But it's what he does after that. Late look back, clicking it, holding it, and he's so high whenever he does it. And when we're going further on in this run, it just gets crazier. The 360 flip, he rotates this one, and what he does after this is insane. He did a flip whip up that 16-foot step up. That's 16 feet off the ground right there that he had to get speed and go a backflip. So usually guys that don't have speed are like, oh man, I'm losing speed on the rest of the run. I'm gonna do either a 360 where I can push through or a front flip so I can push my momentum and get over this ramp. He went backwards, so that was amazing. And he ended it off with the 360 double downside tail up, and everything was textbook. He rode the jumps exactly how they were supposed to be ridden.
So the Great Britain 32-year-old with a couple of silvers to his credit through the years has a big smile for obvious reasons. Will it be greater than an 85? Indeed it is. Whoa, way up into 3rd place. So he is in a comfortable position for the time being, knocking Sandoval out for the time being. Actually, Sandoval has 2 runs done, so Sandoval is out. Now Anderson, who will be coming up in a bit, we'll go, here we go with Leandro Moreira out of Brazil, the 33-year-old sending it. Oh, hang in there.
Huge flip whip to late turn down. That was so insane. Okay, how is he gonna finish this run? This is everything on the line. 360 double tailed, and he pulls it. Okay, this is a complicated setup right here. This is like, you're sitting there playing a game of poker. You're putting your cards out there, but what do the guys have? What do the judges? How are they gonna see this? So what he did on that first jump, this is my favorite part of it. The flip whip, amazing trick. Now to click a turn down at the last second, that is complicated stuff right there, and no one is doing that. And he went right into the triple tail up, and that is the first triple we've seen of the day, which is surprising to say, because there usually is a decent amount of them. So 360 double tail whip. This is a big trick. It's at the point where it's at that bubble. It's like, it's not a statement, but it is, you know, an exclamation point at the end of your run.
All right, so you're seeing a lot of heavy hitters vying for those 5 spots, and the score 84.33, not enough as stated. So it's a game of inches and technicality. That will not be enough for Moreira, the Brazilian, to make it in. So Anderson, who competed in the last heat, he's sitting there. He does not have any more runs at the 86.66 as the score to beat. Now Nick Bruce, he's up and after it for his second and final run.
Wow, Nick, he dropped in and he had a little issue pumping, but he ended up saving himself, which is great news. So the last jump here. All right, went for a double tail whip. You know, things didn't go perfectly, and it started on that rolling. When he pumped down that rolling, you need to be perfect on that. You need to absorb every bit of it. You can see the wheel bobbled on him. He lost his balance. He wasn't able to secure himself going into that massive first jump. That's the biggest jump of the day. When I was standing out there earlier, I was like cranking my neck back to look at it. So when you have a jump that big, that requires a lot of speed, a lot of G-force, and he wasn't able to deliver right there.
Well, the fact that he's smiling after that injury in Boise where he fractured some face bones, it's good to have him back here. That will not be enough to make it on. Anderson's still in the bubble as we go to Mike Varga, fourth at the X Games. Fourth X Games appearance, best, sixth in 2018, lives near Toronto. Chris Doyle, how's your vantage point down there? Take it away.
Well, I'm just watching the Canadian on the course send a 360 double tail whip to late bar spin, straight into the front flip, tuck no hander, no trick out of the SoFi shark fin. And he's showing you that corked out 720. Some might call that a 360 backflip, but you notice the axis in which he's spinning. That was a really solid run, and I gotta say it again, we have not had an X Games gold medalist that's been Canadian since 1995 when it was Jay Miron. But check this out, 360 double tail whip, catches it clean, late bar spin. That's so much going on in the middle of a section like that.
That was definitely an upgrade from his run number one. I would reward that 360 double whip to late bar more than I would reward a straight triple truck driver.
You know where he's gotten so good? Doyle, you know where he got so good? Where did he get so good? Where does he practice his jumping?
He practices jumping up in Canada, man.
At his grandma's house. He builds jumps. He lives with his grandma. He builds dirt jumps and ramps at his 94-year-old grandma's house. So he's doing it kind of like Adam Sandler did in Happy Gilmore, doing it for grandma.
It's amazing.
Right here. Yeah,
that's
so
amazing.
Is it going to be enough?
Pays off.
Little side story. Thanks for research for that. Nicole, great work. Anderson sitting there waiting to see if it's going to be better than, or excuse me, Vargas sitting there seeing if it's going to be better than an 86.66. Survey says yes, 87.33. He now takes over fifth place in a game of inches, Scotty.
Oh, this is going to be back and forth, and
yes,
it's not over yet.
So Peraza's coming up next, gold medalist in dirt in Austin, Texas, 2016. He's also got a gold in park. Here he goes.
Oh, that was huge on that first set. A little bit more of the same. 360 downside tail whip. Oh, no! Kevin is out of bounds.
Out the back, too.
Oh, he went
that
underneath.
That could have been dangerous.
Oh, that was a tough break right there.
Oh, yeah.
So he went for that trick that I was praising him for in that first run, and that's a high-risk trick because instead of commanding the bike, catching it and putting both feet on, he does a can-can at the last second. And when Kevin does his tricks, he doesn't do small tricks. He does his tricks big. So that was pretty crazy.
Taking another look at it.
Well, here's my favorite parts of the run so far. Look at the way he cranked his body in there. I know Chris was down there. He probably had his jaw dropped completely because that was huge.
You know I appreciate a good invert, especially when it comes after a huge three-whip like that. But check that out, 360 can-can and grabbing the seat as well. And this is where things started to go wrong. He over-rotates a little bit, lands a little bit past the peak of that landing, and there's that trick, 360 downside whip to inward can-can.
Oh.
And you see the way he rolls his ankle a little bit, has to bail out.
Oh, man, that was way crazier than we saw the first time.
Yeah, and there's, wow, good wherewithal to get the hands out in front right there and the safety pads down below.
Good thing they were down there.
All right, he's up, he's away, and that was the day for Peraza there. We'll get more information on that, but right now we go back to the top. Competition continues. Real cost, dirt BMX elimination. Pat Casey on the outside looking in, putting it together.
Oh, triple truck on that one. That was an upgrade from run number one onto the end with the cash roll. Okay, so this is where things are going to get very interesting because this is one of those runs that can put him in that bubble spot for sure. It was technical. It had the variety. How are the judges going to see this and compare to Varga?
Let's take a peek back at it here.
Nice dip, 360 double tail whip, signature Pat Casey. Truck to tail whip on the second jump. Triple bar spin 360, and he went for the cash roll. So when we're sitting here comparing these two runs, they're different. There are some things that are the same. They both had tail whip variations with bar spin variations, but how are the judges going to reward the variety? That's what comes into play here.
Right. In the details, it's a little minutia. Van Holman, head judge with the rest of the crew, doing their due diligence up top. 86.33 is the score to beat to get in. You see that's his previous best run score. Outside looking in, and that's an 86. That will not be enough. That's 7th place. So for Pat Casey, he'll be sidelined, and you can see the reaction there. So here we are with 5th place Varga, 87.33. This is Colton Walker with a gold on his maiden voyage back in 2017, a bronze in Sydney. All or nothing right here. Has to do better than 87.33. The pressure is on.
He's our last rider that can make it in onto the finals, and things are going well so far. 360 double tail up on the step up. Coming into the last hit, this has got to be huge. 720. Okay, that was a stock 720.
Okay.
This is going to be a tight one, if anything. This is going to be tight. Varga, he's sitting there in that position, knowing that it all comes down to this rider. That's going to be the only rider that can take his seat away from him into the finals.
So I'll ask Chris Doyle down there, was there enough technical difficulty and variety in that run to get into the top 5?
Man, I am just so thankful that I am not a judge at this competition right now.
Way to defer.
Look at everything that he's done on those first 3 sets, and I think those first 3 sets are going to be what help him out the most as far as his score goes, but he didn't trick out of the shark fin, he didn't trick out of the berm, and that, like Scotty said, is just kind of a stock 720 when we know that Colton Walker is capable of so much more. We're just going to have to sit and wait.
Okay, again, Vargas in 5th position, the upper right-hand corner of your screen, 87.33. That is the bubble. It's the hot seat. Anything greater than that, Vargas out. Walker's in. And smiles from Varga. Walker, concerned for obvious reasons. 85.66, 8th place. Doyle, thoughts?
Well, obviously Colton Walker is not happy with that, but we see Mike Varga is super happy just to be in that final, and I can't believe the level of riding of the guys that didn't make it in, so you know that these top 5 guys are going to send it. Kyle Baldock has a bit of a victory lap here because he knows that he's in and he's going to be riding the finals.
Yeah, training run up here, and because Baldock and Gadziak, the 2 remaining competitors in the seat, they're in, and there you go, just a little showboat.
Very lucky that he got in on that first run, because the second run did not go as planned right there, but such big scores from those 2 riders because the level of difficulty of those tricks were in a different class. That is for sure.
Upsetting. He's upset with himself, yeah, want to stick to it. So that was Baldock. He's in because he's got a 90 in the 2nd place spot. Here's the guy who has the highest score of the day. This is truly a victory lap for the dirt qualifiers, and this is Mr. David Gadziak. He's also a heck of a slopestyle mountain bike rider. Him and his brother, he took 3rd place at the Crankworks event in Innsbruck, Austria back in June, just last month. So the kid's got skills across the board.
It was epic to watch.
Yeah.
I was so impressed with what I saw, and it's crazy to think. I'm like, that's the same guy that's got a gold medal in BMX. Those are 2 different worlds right there.
Bigger bikes, bigger jumps, way bigger risk reward. So that'll do it out here. Unofficially, Varga 5, Buckworth 4, Wallace 3rd, Baldock and Gadziak, 2 previous gold medalists in this BMX Dirt World, going on to the final, joining Lupos, Martin, and Fox. And there it is, official results on the left-hand side. The Canadian, Varga, Aussie, Buckworth, Great Britain, Wallace, another Aussie, Baldock, and the Pole, Gadziak, advancing on. Chris Doyle, what do you have down below for us?
Guys, I am sitting here with Mr. David Gadziak. David, one of the most competitive qualifying rounds I've ever seen in my entire life. And you, sir, are our 1st place qualifier. You're going to the big show, you're going to be riding the finals, and you're looking really strong. How you feeling?
Thank you. I'm feeling really good. It wasn't really my run I planned because I struggled on the 2nd jump, but it was enough anyway, so I'm really stoked.
Look good. It's good enough for 1st place right now. Congratulations.
Thank you kindly. Just humble, modest, and a boatload of skills, huh, Scotty?
It's amazing. He is so straight to the point. I love it. And he lets his riding speak for himself. But we're going into such an epic final with so many amazing riders, and I'm so excited to see it. Like, look at these names. We have Mike Barta, Andy Buckworth, Ben Wallace, Kyle Baldock, David Goziak, but they're joining in with Brian Fox, Logan Martin, and Brandon Lupos. This is going to be nuts.
Yeah, half of that field has a gold medal in their back pocket at least once. So just watch out. It's going to be a grand old time. Yeah, so Dirt's coming up a little bit later in the X Games. It's day one of many more to go. You see the crashes, the action, the fun. That's what it's all about. The smiles and the disappointment, Scotty.
Amazing riding. I'm so excited to be a part of this one, and we are going to be firing off in the finals.
That's right. For Chris Doyle and Scotty Kramer, I'm Uncle Lee. Thanks for tuning in to the Real Cost BMX Dirt Elimination. See ya.